Un aplauso para los miembros.
And we are live, and we are home from El Salvador. Yes, those were some of the pictures and some of the video from us. You know, let me scoot over so I look as handsome as possible. There I am. All right. And yes, we were in El Salvador, and I am officially the chairman of the Private Key Capital Credit Union. Folks, and Jay, my CEO here at our clubs, is our acting, because eventually we'll hire a new CEO for the capital company, but he's CEO now and launching it and actually getting it all set up and all that good stuff. But I have larger plans for him in the future. But this is what I want to talk about, guys. While we were in El Salvador, it is such a buzz. It looked like Washington, D.C. used to look. It had cranes that were building high-rises, huge new highways and roads. The roads are nicer in El Salvador than they are here in Florida. That's what I am talking about. It's absolutely. Is everything okay? Am I ugly or what? Oh, she's going to fix the sound. Okay, thank you. Am I sounding better? Is there a switch on there where you can eliminate my speech impediment? AI has not quite reached that good yet. Eventually, I will have a sexy sounding real-time voice, and you'll no longer hear this raspy, I've been smoking for 47 years of my life, and for the first 18 years of my life, I was an alcoholic. Now my voice sounds like absolute garbage. Come on, AI. All right, as I was saying, El Salvador is growing immensely so quickly. On the flight home, I actually sat and had a conversation with the gentleman. Hopefully he's watching right now. And shout out to him. He owns the company that makes all of the flags for the federal government and most of the local government, made in America up in New York. So wonderful talking to you, and I hope you're watching. I'm pretty sure you are. And he's actually looking to purchase more property in El Salvador. He actually built a tremendous house off grid. And I mean, this is not like a hut. right? This is like pretty sure it's a multi-million-dollar house in El Salvador, which is really saying something. And he explained, he was like, oh yeah, everything here is growing. Everything here is growing so quickly. And he's originally from El Salvador. And he flat out said, he goes, I've never seen anything like this. Because high rises are being built, roads, restaurants, resorts, our bank. He expressed how happy he was seeing American entrepreneurs linked with Bitcoin using the friendliness of the El Salvadorian government. Because guys, this is what's crazy. I was able to actually purchase a credit union with global licensing. You know how hard that would have been here in America? You know how expensive just the regulatory crap would have been? It would have easily taken me 3 or 4 years just to get the licensing for the bank. El Salvador. They can't wait to help you. As you can see, private key capital. And this is why I'm so excited about where we're going. And that's why the headline that I actually put on here, global economists are recognizing the Bitcoin is the trump card. They see, I watched 3 interviews this weekend just from well-known economists explaining, you know what I'm starting to see? I'm starting to see that Trump and the Trump administration, I think they're going to use cryptos, specifically Bitcoin and stable coins, to recapitalize America. And they went in deep, folks. They sounded like me. Because they basically said, why can't we recapitalize the American economy using an amplifying instrument like the Bitcoin? Because that's what Bitcoin is. It's an amplifying instrument that amplifies capital value. They're starting to realize this, and they're seeing what Trump is doing. They're seeing he's going to recapitalize America and the American banks and the American people and American industry with the Bitcoin. And he's going to save Americans money on energy, implementing the Bitcoin into the energy sector. Because then the profit, listen to me, folks, this is what's going on. This is not my opinion. Trump is going to partner with and is already set in motion partnerships with all of the electric companies in America, where the electric companies will get a grant from the federal government. Look at the big, beautiful bill, where they can open a cheat ton of friggin' Bitcoin mining facilities at the energy locations on site. They'll actually get a grant or a loan from the federal government, and as they produce the Bitcoin, initially they'll use that Bitcoin to actually repay the federal government. And they will pay the federal government in Bitcoin. That's how Trump will accumulate more Bitcoin. Because he's using everything we know. That's why Trump has said that the Bitcoin is the new oil. Because in 1971 through 1976, we transitioned off of a gold-backed dollar into the petrodollar system. In the 1970s, the reason, listen to me and this will make sense, we did not have a fuel shortage. We did not have an oil shortage. What we had was countries all around the world hoarding gold or hoarding oil because they knew they were setting the new price for it. That's why Trump says the Bitcoin is the new oil. Because right now, all of the corporations in all of the countries globally are setting up to hoard the Bitcoin so that the Bitcoin price, as it goes up, they're all recapitalized. And yes, they will use gold. And yes, they will use Bitcoin. Because, number one, as of right now, you can't really make a lot of gold. But you can actually mine a lot of gold. The price of the gold goes up, and they mine more gold. But the higher the price that the Bitcoin goes, tick-tock, another block, they can't mine more Bitcoin. It is set every 10 minutes. No matter how high the price goes, no matter how many miners are switched on, they can't produce more than 450 block or 450 Bitcoin a day. Limited supply. True limited supply. And that's why you hear these ridiculous people who are ridiculously accurate when they say we're going to hit a point where the price is just going to skyrocket. Because that is true limited supply. True limited supply. Now, we had a huge announcement this morning that PayPal, who has 450 million users all over the globe, is implementing peer-to-peer transfers of the Bitcoin and Ethereum. Guess what that means? Payments in Bitcoin. Think about this. You run a company and you accept payments through PayPal. Well, what if you offer 10% off if they send you Bitcoin over PayPal? Maybe 20%. Or like Sheetz, the gas station, will give you half off everything from 4 o'clock until 7 o'clock at night if you pay with Bitcoin. Because that's what's going on right now. That's what's happening is the old currency, the dollars, the yens, the pound, all of those are going to be now dollars. Now, you will only hold the amount of dollars that you need for stupid people who don't accept Bitcoin yet. That's it. Eventually, your landlord will accept Bitcoin. Eventually, your grocery store will accept Bitcoin. This is all what's happening right now. This is all in place. This is all moving forward. We've had announcements from Jack Mallers that he knows for a fact, because I'm pretty sure he's helping them buy them, that the UAE is buying Bitcoin, a lot of it, and mining it. Well, I know they're actually mining it because I own mining rigs in Dubai. Guys, we're at such a point. We're at such an inflection point right now. All of you, think about this. There are 8.2 billion people in the world. Last number I heard, there's about 10 million people who really understand the Bitcoin and the ecosystem and the economy of the Bitcoin. See, so many people have heard of it. Oh, I've heard about that Bitcoin. Yeah, that's like a share, or that's like Apple shares, isn't it? They have no idea how it's created. They have no idea that it's limited supply, digital scarcity. For the first time in history, we have a global exchange of value that is decentralized. You know what decentralized means? Uncontrollable. And that's what people are starting to realize. Unfortunately, and this is why I have our clubs and have everything I'm creating and our teams are creating. Unfortunately, I fear that what has happened with every other currency flip will happen again. With every single currency flip in history, the wealthy flipped into the new currency, realizing the old currency was dying. But the normal people, if they got a little bit of the new currency, think of the gold rush. If when they received gold, they were selling the gold for the dollars, where the money people were selling the dollars to get the gold. And that happens every time in history. The average Joe has no idea what's going on, has no idea that we're flipping into a new paradigm, into a new global decentralized currency, and so they don't scramble to get the new currency. In that example, it was gold. Right? Now, they did rush and head out and get gold, but they didn't realize hodling the gold was the play. Not heading out to the mine, getting a little bit off the vein. Oh, I got some gold. I pay in some gold. Let me go in here and grab a few hookers and some whiskey and blow my gold on this bullshit. That's the equivalent of an early Bitcoiner, and I knew several of them who they got a bunch of Bitcoin, and then as soon as it went up a little bit, they're like, I got me a Lambo, man. You got a Lambo? Yeah, isn't it cool? You mean a devaluing Lambo? You mean a Lambo that it would take you a year to sell the piece of shit for less than you paid for it? That's what you're excited about? Yeah, but it's a Lambo. Yeah, but you gave up at the time, and I'm not joking, gave up 200, oh wait, no, I'm 100, so you gave up 120 Bitcoin for a Lambo. Yeah, man, I really made it. Really? How's that Lambo now? Oh, you wrecked it. Yeah. How's that 120 Bitcoin doing? Oh, yeah, that's like $12 million. Was that a smart move? No. But that's what happens in history, is the people that don't real or haven't, and guys, go back and check. I have been saying this since early 2017. Early. Hell, maybe even earlier than that, pre-YouTube, when I was just on Facebook. I was probably saying it earlier than that, when I was only on Facebook. Live, by the way, in the good old days in the truck. But that's what I realized is, holy shit, everyone's going to adopt this. The federal government will adopt this. All of the global banks will adopt this. And everyone would ask me, Ben, what makes you say that? What makes you say that? Human nature. If you know humans, then you know what humans will do. Because right now is the equivalent of, say, America in the early 1700s, late 1600s, early 1700s. There were so many people from Europe. And when I say people, armies, people who were trading, because they realized, holy crap, this new continent, this new area has a shit ton of silver. And they don't value it as much as we do. So what happened? More and more people started coming to America, in Florida, in other areas around North America and South America. More and more people came because they recognized, oh, look at this opportunity for the new money that we can get. That's exactly what happened with America. Is we landed here in America. Let's use Plymouth Rock as an example. And the next thing you know, there's more ships showing up. Oh, wow, there's so much opportunity. Look, you can get land for like nothing. You hand them a couple of beads, you get like 1,000 acres or whatever. Then word spread, because humans like to brag, and humans like to tell other humans what a great experience. Oh, hey man, dude, have you heard about this new America place? Hell yeah, dude. There's land, there's freedom. You get away from the king. And hell, that's all you really had. That's all you had to say to a lot of the Puritans. Wait, we get away from the king? Sounds good to us. But they saw opportunity. And that's what the Bitcoin is it's opportunity to change your life. And yeah, Ben, how did you know that it would eventually be basically adopted by everybody? Because everyone can own it. It's decentralized. You don't need permission. It's easier than going from London to the New World. It doesn't take 6 months or however long it was, like 3.5 months or something. All you have to do is go buy Bitcoin. You don't even have to leave your phone. That's ease of adoption. All of the Puritans leaving England, coming to America, not so much ease of adoption, because you had the seas that would try and kill you. You had weather trying to kill you. Half of the pilgrims that showed up here in America, half of them died the first year. But the others didn't. And that's what us early adopters, and what's crazy is if you're listening to my show right now, you're still an early adopter. If you hold your private keys and you hold your own Bitcoin, or you have it set up in a program where you have your own Bitcoin, you're so far ahead of the game. Right? Now, let me explain this. When the Pilgrims originally came to America, they had to bring the currency with them because they didn't have a mining operation for silver. They did not have mining operations for gold. No. So they had to trade furs and all this other shit and tools and labor and all, because they didn't have any silver. So they had to trade using shit that was valuable in the environment. Where we're at right now is now everyone's realizing we can all mine for gold. We can all mine for silver. And we are just like Michael Saylor. We're in a digital gold rush. And the price of the Bitcoin is actually reaching a point where for people, some people, it might make more sense to actually invest in mining than just buying Bitcoin. And you and I, we will talk about that in the future. And I'll explain it all to you. But right now, this is a gold rush, guys. This is a digital gold rush. And for all of my people listening who are like, what about Litecoin? What about Doge? What about Hypercycle? What about this? What about that? They'll have their time, guys. This is the internet launching in 1990. And that's like asking me in 1990, Ben, what about Google? What about the iPhone? What about Amazon? All of those projects and a lot more projects will grow as the industry grows, because what so many people need to wrap their heads around. What's happening is every ledger of information and account is being replaced with blockchain. Think about that. Everything that requires a ledger or recording transactions or exchanges or something that shows ownership, that's all being replaced. And a lot of these cryptos and a lot of these projects are the early Googles. They are the early Amazons. They are the early representation of hundreds of thousands of new companies that's going to be created using this technology, transitioning us into a whole different world. And everyone here should be excited. Now, I'm going to say something that may freak a lot of you guys out, but just work with me on this, all right? The population of the earth, of productive entities in the economy, is about to jump from about 4.5 billion. Remember what I said, productive entities. You, me, him, her, is about to go from about 4.5 billion. These are working humans, to about a quadrillion. And I'm not joking when I say that. A quadrillion productive entities in our global economy using AI agents. Because AI agents will replace the labor of a lot of the humans. And think about this. You can launch 100 million agents in all of about an hour. That's like the earth giving, or that's like 100 million women on earth giving birth to PhD level children as soon as they're born. That's the level of productivity we're about to go into. The world in 5 years is not going to look anything like it does now. We've all seen the old black and white pictures of New York before automobiles, where you see the horse and the horse shit and the horse tracks and all that crap. New York pre-automobiles. Then they show you 3 years later when it's all cars. That's robotics, folks. And that's just physical. Remember, robots that are coming out is just AIs with a body. That's it. It's AIs with a body. And that's just physical bodies. There will be billions, trillions of AIs that are strictly digital software. That's it. So we're going to go from, and this is the important part, this is the part that should calm you down. We are going to go from 8.2 billion people actually being supported monetarily from about 4.5 billion people. So let me explain this. We have 4.5 billion people who produce something of value. That production allows for the survival of the other 4 billion people. Now, we're about to have 100 trillion non-consuming entities. Humans are consuming entities. We have to have food. We have to have shelter. I have to have nice underwear. I like certain pairs of socks. We have to have a roof. We have to have shelter. We have to have entertainment, and we have to sleep 1/3 of our life away. They don't. These are non-consuming entities. Robots. The only thing they consume is electricity. That's it. When you have 100 million robots, they will produce more value add than the just hear me out. They will produce more value over a 1-year period. 100 million robots will produce more value added to the global GDP than the 4.5 billion people do. Ben, how can you say that? Because these are non-consuming entities. They don't affect inflation. In fact, they're deflational. Prices will drop because labor will drop to almost nothing. And as prices go lower, your dollar goes, I said dollar, what a bunch of horse shit that is. Your Bitcoin will go further. See, right now, and this is something people have to understand, right now, the Bitcoin is absorbing all of the fiat currency. That's what it's doing. It's eating all of the fiat currencies. We will reach a point where there's no more fiat currencies to eat. That is when it gets interesting, because then all value add is represented in Bitcoin. Guys, now mind you, that's probably maybe 20 years away when we completely get rid of all of the fiat systems. But it's going to be one hell of a ride up, because then everything value added in the global GDP is valued in Bitcoin. So we'll reach a point where everything in the world, everything that has a price, half of that value is the Bitcoin. Think about that. Yeah. Let that sink in. Because this is not a simple transition. We're not rolling over from gold into the petrodollar. No. Hey, that's another reason. Fuck it, I'll say it. The reason they rolled into oil is because they could sell the lie that it was limited because it's dinosaur juice. It ain't dinosaur juice, folks. That's been a lie forever. Dinosaur juice. Literally, when I was a kid, and when I first realized that they were saying that oil was juice from rotting plants and dinosaurs, I knew it was bullshit. It was like, hey, that doesn't make any fucking sense. Here. All right. Have any of you seen when they drill for oil and it shoots up way into the sky because you hit a pressurized pocket? If it's old dinosaur juice and it was absorbed by the earth, why is it pressurized outwards? How would it absorb and yet push out with outward pressure? And why is there oil under the water? Let that sink in, folks. Have you ever seen how oil acts with water? It floats. How are we drilling for oil in the ocean? Let that sink in. Let that run around your head a little bit, folks. And if you're sitting there thinking, well, there's got to be a reason. No, there's not. It's that simple. Oil is created by the earth. That's it. It's that simple. Oil is the blood of the earth. Like it. Welcome to it, folks. See, that's something else. We have to re-educate a whole world because we've had progressives and fucking control freaks who have lied us into this idea of global natural resources scarcity. Global warming, the seas are going to rise. Is it? Are the seas going to rise? Yeah, the next 20 years, said Florida is going to be underwater. No shit. No shit. How long has it been going on? For about 100 and something years, ever since the Industrial Revolution. Oh, okay. Have the seas risen at all? Do you want to see a great example of how full of shit these people are? And I've said this before. Go to Plymouth Rock, where we landed. It's flat. It's a flat rock. It's the first rock they put their foot on. It's a flat rock. Guess what? It's at the same fucking water level that it was when the fuckers first put their foot on it. How is that possible? Did the rock rise? Did the rock float? No. You guys and so many people need to realize you've been fucking lied to. Yeah, you've been bullshitted. Accept it. Most of what you think you know is bullshit. Why? Because they educated you with information to align with their agenda. Also called indoctrination. That's all coming to an end now, because now they do not have the avenues of indoctrination. There's my show. There's other shows. There's shows all over there's billions of shows out there that are asking questions, doing research, looking into real history. And the only way that you fight a lie is the truth. And I am as guilty as anybody. I've lied a lot in my life. We all have. But we have been lied to in our education system. That's systematic lying. That's the university you go to teaches you the system, not the knowledge. Well, if the system is actually based on a lie, then you don't know jack shit but the system. And that's what's going on in Washington, D.C. That's what's going on globally, is so many people went to university or college and they were told, oh, just go to college, go to this and go to that. You'll get a good job. Don't worry about it. Then they get out of college and they realize the only job they can get is at a fucking college, regurgitating the bullshit. Because most universities and college only produce people that are capable of teaching the class that they took, not implementing the knowledge that they learned in the real world. That's why everyone says, I learned more in my first year of real world work than I ever learned in college. Yeah, because all you learned how to do in college was to teach the class in college and pass the college tests. That's it. So when you graduated from whatever school, the only thing you knew how to do was teach that class that you got an A in. That's it. Because when you got to work and you tried applying that knowledge, everyone at your job's like, no, that's bullshit. Let me show you how you really do it. Those were known as shortcuts or hey, I got the tricks of the trade. No. That's the knowledge of the trade. The trick of the trade is what you got in college, because you got tricked into thinking that you could learn in college how to apply fundamentals and reason into a profession. Nope. I have met a lot of stupid people who have master's degrees. When I was over in the UK and I was in front of a bunch of bankers and a bunch of finance people and everyone was kind of giggling at me. It was like, oh, he's a loo driver from America, which if you don't know, loo over in the UK, that means truck driver, a loo driver. And I remember at the end of it, I had CEOs, and I'm not joking, folks. I had CEOs of financial institutions wanting to hire me because they said I knew more about economics than most of the people that worked for them. Why? Because they were Keynesian economics. And that's all lies. That's what Keynesian economics is. That's what this whole modern monetary theory bullshit is. It's bullshit. That's why we're replacing the system with a new system. And that new central system is decentralized. And it's completely decentralized. And it will grow more decentralized. This is a one-way street, folks. We are not going back to a centralized world. There's too much information. You can only centralize information through regulation and limitation. Without regulation and limitation, you have no centralization. Welcome to the internet. Welcome to Bitcoin. Welcome to the new world. Grab a shovel. Let's build. All right. Thank you guys for watching. I've loved it. I've had a great friggin' time. And now, if you guys are interested in a loan for some Bitcoin, right? I'm not saying you send us some Bitcoin and we give you a loan. No. We can set you up with a loan to purchase some Bitcoin. We can even refinance your house and capture that equity and help you buy Bitcoin with it. We recently, over the last month, we hired a loan specialist at my company. Her only job is to get you guys the loans you want and need. That's it. That's her job. And she kicks ass at it, by the way. Why? Why am I doing this? Why am I encouraging people to take a loan out and actually buy Bitcoin? It's the same reason why the Pilgrims came to America and they borrowed money from Europe to actually buy parts of America. Because this is the opportune land. This is the prestigious land. This is the precious land of the future. This is the key, the private key. So give us a call right now, 941-413-8080. Once again, 941-413-8080. 941-413-8080. 8080. I think I'm just going to get like a friggin' chat right here. Just a telephone number. But then it would be my luck and they change the number or something. Oh well. It is what it is. Everyone, have a great day and I will see you tomorrow. Love you guys. All right, how do I shut this thing? Oh, I know how I shut it off. I kick it. That's how you do it. Oh, it's a computer with a kickstart and a kick off. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
Bien, un aplauso para los amigos.
Look.